Welcome to the next episode of How This Model Was Built. My name is Karim Chichakly, and today we're going to look at the systems in focus that is involved with agriculture. In fact, we're looking at how we can manage our dairy herd. You may want to manage this for many reasons. For example, supply and demand could be changing, especially demand goes up versus down. You may want to try to control methane production because there are requirements in your country. You may want to look at what you want to do with your your herd size based on milk trade agreements that are going on. So there are many reasons why you might want to do this. Starts off with a stock of cows. You can't have milk without cows. We get the cows pregnant, right? And then they're in gestation, and they get impregnated only during the breeding season, which is April 1st to July 1st. So basically April, May, and June, we're actually allowing the cows to become pregnant. After however much time it takes for a cow to be born, it's born, and we have calves. Some of these calves will die, unfortunately, and some of them will survive, and we will wean them after a while. Notice I've used conveyors here, by the way. These are fixed lengths of time that it's in gestation and fixed length of time that it takes to wean them. We can put distributions in these times if we like to, but there aren't in this one. Anyway, once we have weaned calves, we're going to decide which ones we want to keep as heifers, and it takes a while for the heifers to grow into cows, so it's another conveyor. And the others, we're going to mature them, we're going to finish them, and then we're going to sell them very young. And the maturing process is just, how many calves there are divided by the time it takes to finish them in months. And then we sell whatever's left after whatever we keep. Once they've gotten to the right age, then we have cows again, and we go back through this whole cycle again. And at a certain point, we will cull cows because they're no longer producing enough milk, or they've gotten too old, or whatever. And that's based on their average lifespan. We have to keep, because we're culling cows, we need to keep the same number of cows all the time. So we have some desired number of cows that we have, and that's going to be based on how many were culled and how many, this is the initial cows, that's how many we started with, and we're assuming right now we're going to keep that number. And we're going to figure out, using basically a stock adjustment process, what the gap is between what we desire and what we have, because remember, we have heifers and cows. We have to think about the delay here, so we have to include the heifers. And then we're going to figure out, based on the time that it takes to replace a cow, we're going to figure out our cow replacement, right? Stock adjustment process. If we run this, you'll find that the cows, which is the green line at the top, is fairly constant. There are these little blips caused by, the oscillations here in our breeding season. So this is a seasonality based on our breeding season. So as we're waiting, for them to come out again, actually, it's more likely this is while they're gestating. After they've been born and before, right, and before they're old enough to be cows. This is what happens. We can track that down if we really wanted to. But what happens if we change how many cows that we want, right? Say we want more cows or we want fewer cows. If we increase the number of cows, well, it actually works. We actually do increase. We overshoot a little bit. But because, we're culling cows all the time, it comes back down again. Likewise, if we're trying to reduce the number of cows because there's less demand, then it will drop eventually. So all that's working as we would hope. Finally, of course, we need milk production because that's what this is all about. We're trying to produce milk from the cows, and that's a very simple formula. We have a productivity, and we have the number of cows. We just multiply it together. I hope you've enjoyed this little examination of this model. There's nothing terribly complicated here. Again, we have a graphical function to deal with the seasonality of the calves in gestation. We have conveyors to move them along. We have leakages for the death fraction. We have to distribute wean calves between those we want to keep and those we don't. We figure out how many we want to keep based on how many we have and how many we've culled and how many we want right here. That's just a stock adjustment process there. That's it.